Will the Bengals get to 3-0 for the first time since 2015? My prediction for Sunday's game against the Vikings and 5 things to watch for right now on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into CBT. I'm James Rapien of BengalsTalk.com. This video is brought to you by our local sponsors, WinWinAthletics.com and Christian Husky of Cincy Realtors. If you're looking for any kind of real estate advice, moving, relocating, doesn't matter. Christian Husky has you covered. CincyCline.com/chusky. Let's dive into what is going to be, I think, a wild game and a really intriguing game. You got the battle of the backups. You got plenty of storylines. And what I'm watching for first on Sunday, well, it starts with a J and it ends with a G, Jake Browning. What does this Jake Browning offense look like? And I think it's going to be a bit more run heavy. I think it's going to be a bit more under center. I think it's going to be a lot more different than Zach Taylor led on this week. We'll see. Maybe it's not. Maybe they go out there and they try to throw all the ball around the field and deal with that Vikings crowd and the noise. I think they're going to be a bit more run heavy, which is number 2 of what I'm looking for. Chase Brown in the run blocking. Hello. Need some run blocking. Everyone's talking about the Bengals pass protection. I think the run blocking has certainly been in question and more of a question than anything over the past couple of weeks. It just hasn't been there. Chase Brown's averaged 2.4 yards per carry, 90 total yards so far. He needs to have 90 plus yards on Sunday. He needs to be a key factor. I was talking to a Bengals veteran this week and I said, is this the Chase Brown week? And he said, it better be, because he's one of our best players. And that's a good way of looking at it. Like, a lot of people talk about balance and all of these things. Bottom line is Chase Brown is one of their best weapons, and he's extremely versatile, and he can do a bunch. And whether you want to dump it off to him, which I still think Jake Browning is going to do a lot, and he'll be involved in the passing game, or lean on him on the ground, he needs to get 4+ yards per carry on Sunday. And so I'm really looking at that. It's 2 things. It's the Jake Browning offense, and then it's the Chase Brown. What can he do for you? Can he get going for the first time this season? Certainly something I'm looking forward to seeing. And those are the big things on offense for me. Outside of that, like, I think Jamar's going to show up, and T and the rest of these weapons, and whether it's the tight ends, and I do think that it's going to be interesting. I mentioned this on Locked On Thursday. Will the Bengals go with Cam Grandy as well because he's a better blocking tight end? Do you go that route and have him active as well? Because to me, this is one of those games when you look at what Minnesota did last week against the run, and they got lit up. Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier just ran all over him. You're thinking, all right, well, we got to be able to run the ball. We got to be able to be physical and run the ball and take away that Vikings pressure package that they love to do. They love to throw a lot of pressures, blitz a lot. They haven't done it as much this year, but that's something they love to do. If you're the Bengals, one way to kind of stymie that and take a little pressure off of Jake Browning is run the ball effectively, efficiently, and explosive. You need a few explosive runs this week. We'll see if they get that done. Up next, I have 3 more things to watch for, and they're all on the other side of the ball. And the first one, well, it begins with the Bengals' best player on defense. We'll get to that coming up next. This video brought to you by WinWinAthletics.com. If you're looking for the best flag football gear on the planet, look no farther. WinWin Athletics has everything you need, and you get their WinWin flag football kit. It is a flag football field, well, right there at your disposal. The cones you need for the end lines, the out of bounds, the touchdown, or the end zones, along with all of the flags as well. So check them out today at WinWinAthletics.com. I've been telling you about Christian Husky for a while. Mentioned it at the top. C Husky. All you got to do, CincyCline.com/CHusky. The real estate market, it is wild. It is wacky. If you're looking, if you're thinking about looking, if you're thinking about selling, you got to hit my guy up, Christian Husky, CincyCline.com/CHusky. All right, let's get into number 3. And number 3 is simple. Trey Hendrickson versus a backup left tackle with Christian Darrisaw out. And I think it's going to be not even their second backup left tackle. It was not going to be Justin School. I think it's going to be Walter Rouse, second-year, 6th-round pick. Regardless, you have to get it done if you're Trey Hendrickson, really thinking about what he needs. And he leads the NFL in pressures right now with 14. has obviously gotten to the quarterback. They need him to get to the quarterback multiple times on Sunday. I think that's a big factor, big storyline, because you got Shamar Stewart out. You're banking on Miles Murphy and Joseph Osai, and it would be great to have some interior pressure. But until we see it, and they're banged up on the Vikings offensive line, but until we see it, Trey Hendrickson is the guy that you're really, really banking on. Number 4 is the secondary. You got Cam Taylor-Britt with a hamstring that he suffered on Wednesday. And then you look on the other side and it's Justin Jefferson. It's a proven vet like Adam Thielen. It's a very capable, in my mind, third piece in Jalen Naylor. Like I like their weapons. TJ Hockenson hasn't had a big year yet, but certainly someone to pay attention to. Aaron Jones is good in the passing game as a running back. He's out. And so it's going to be Jordan Mason. And I think Mason's a quality player. Like you look at their skill players, and they're going to test this Bengals defense, but specifically Justin Jefferson, who for my money is the second best receiver on the planet. Adam Thielen is an awesome, underrated veteran. And then I mentioned Naylor. I like Naylor a lot as a complimentary piece. Like all 3 of those guys plus Hockenson are going to test this Bengals defense, this Bengals secondary. And Dax Hill, can he continue to build on what he's done over the first 2 weeks, where I think he's played very well? Jordan Battle, turnover machine. This Bengals defense, they've been opportunistic. Can they continue that? We'll see. It's certainly a game where they could use a couple of turnovers with all the noise and everything they're going to be dealing with. And number 5, I kind of mentioned it, but Carson Wentz. It's not just Jake Browning. It's the battle of the backups with Carson Wentz. And so I think there are some Vikings fans that think that Carson Wentz is better at this stage of his career than J.J. McCarthy. Fine. We'll go out and prove it. And if you're the Bengals, you're probably looking at this and like, all right, you know what I can do? I can force another couple of turnovers this week. And that's what this Bengals defense has done. If they can do it again this week, well, it's probably Carson Wentz with a strip sack from Trey Hendrickson, courtesy of Trey Hendrickson, an interception. Maybe Jordan Battle makes it 3 in a row. Look, they need to win the turnover battle if they're going to win this game. And I think Carson Wentz, like, I know Jake Browning threw 3 interceptions last week, but I think Jake Browning is better at taking care of the football than Carson Wentz on paper. We'll see if that actually translates and happens on Sunday. All things I'm looking at. Obviously, it's really fun. I wish we had the full LSU storyline with Burrow and Chase versus Justin Jefferson, but still Chase versus Jefferson, the 2 best receivers on the planet on the same field. I know they don't go up against each other. I love that storyline, but it is prediction time here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. This prediction brought to you by Rivertown Inquiry, rivertowninquiry.com. The best apparel in Cincinnati comes from Rivertown Inquiry, t-shirts, hoodies, and so much more. Let's get into this prediction. And I've gone back and forth all week. Earlier this week, I leaned Vikings. I've been in the Bengals locker room. I think they believe. I also think that they're talented. Like, I think the Bengals are a good team. And that's what I'm really struggling with here, because I think the Vikings are a good team. I think Carson Wentz may make them a little better right now. I do believe that the Vikings are coming off of an ugly loss. They're going to be at home. And so this one's really tough for me, like really, really tough. And like last week, when I had the Bengals by a field goal, I picked the Bengals 30-27 over the Jags. I think it's going to be a field goal game again. And I wonder if it's too much for the Bengals to overcome again for this week. But the Vikings are dealing with a bunch of injuries too. The Bengals are confident, and they showed some resilience last week. So I'm going to trust that. How they responded to adversity, I'm going to trust that that's real. And this is a game, I don't want to say must win or anything like that, but you look at that schedule, it'd be really big to give yourself a 3-0 cushion. And so I think they get there. It's going to be lower scoring, 23-20. Give me the Bengals in a game that is going to be ugly at times, but I think Jamar, T, Trey, and Jake do just enough, along with Chase Brown in there as well, to get it to 3-0. And if they get it to 3-0, well, the vibes are really going to be high. We've had a ton of content for you this week, whether it was our conversation with Brandon Bowers. We had a nice members-only live stream on Wednesday night. So if you missed that, now's the time to join and become a member here on our YouTube channel. And there's just so much on our audio platforms and on YouTube. So whether Joe is down or not, we are here for you, Bengals fans. So remember that. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, when we'll see if the Bengals can get to 3-0. I'm calling it. 23-20. I'm wavering here. You can tell, but I'm calling it 23-20. We'll talk to you on game day right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.